We've all fantasized about quitting everything, just letting everything go, all of the responsibility, everything that was put upon our shoulders, just quitting everything, not getting out of bed for the entire day, not getting out of bed for the entire week. Or, yeah, we just fantasized about not doing all of these things that we have to do. And we feel like we've put so much energy, we put so much of ourselves in the work that we do, or whatever it is, and yet for what? For less than mediocre results. This is a feeling that everyone has. Everyone fantasizes about quitting everything at some point. And you have to understand that if you really want to do that, you can do it. You can do it for a few days or forever. It doesn't really matter. If you think it's the best thing for you to do, you can do it. But understand that that feeling never goes away. No matter the amount of effort and no matter the how big the reward gets, you will always feel like you are putting too much effort for far too little results, because this is called hedonic adaptation. It's an evolutionary tendency for the human being to never be satisfied. No matter how big the reward is, we get accustomed to it. It's our new normal. If it repeats itself a few too many times, we feel like it's our new normal. So we are basically fighting our own biology when we are trying to feel grateful about the things that we have, when we are feeling this desire to quit. That's basically our biology saying to us, there is this reward over here that we've gotten so many times. Maybe it's time for something new. There is a trick, there is a way, this one single way that really helps you to get over it, to really not have that problem anymore. And it's one word. It's called momentum. It's this utter force of just really putting the wheels in motion so fast by doing so many repetitions that you're pushed, instead of running after the things that you want, you are pushed towards them by the momentum that you have. It's like really going down a hill at 100,000 miles an hour, just super fast. And it only takes one thing: copious amounts of repetitions. And you might be thinking, that's hard to do. It is not. It's actually doing the same amount of work. So that's the point. Doing the same amount of work, but building it differently. Thinking about your work and the things that you are doing in a different way. Implement small breaks, very, very small breaks in between. And you will find that your work becomes much more manageable. Because 4 hours or 2 hours or 6 hours of work and then a break or then just going home is too much. But if you do 30 minutes and then 1 minute of break, it's so much easier. It's so much better for your brain. And you get so many more rewards in your brain, so many more chemicals, just feeling more meaningful. It's such a simple trick, such a simple strategy. But you see, it's that redundancy that builds the habit. It's the number of repetitions. If you have 38 repetitions, that's a habit. But if you have one single repetition a day, it will take you 38 days to get there. But you have to go beyond the habit if you want to never feel this need to quit, to never feel like you want to quit, or whenever it arises, you understand that you don't need anything to continue because you are pushed by the things that you've done in the past, the hundreds of times that you've repeated the same task, the same thing. By just implementing those small little breaks and making your work sessions shorter and doing them more often, but the same amount of work, the same amount of dedication, just adding a smaller break in between. Do it as many times as you want, but understand this. At a certain point, after about 500 to 1,000 repetitions, that's when you have unstoppable momentum. That's when you don't need motivation, when you don't need inspiration, when you don't need to feel anything. Or even if things are working against you, you are still unstoppable. So understand that if you want to take a break, you can take a break. But before you do that, make a list of the things that you would need to do to get back on the horse. Because if you don't do that, you might quit forever. You might give up on everything. And it's understandable. But if you really want to take a break and reinvigorate your passion for your projects, for your work, for your family, for whatever it is that you are trying to quit or avoid the responsibility of, is try to understand that you need a strategy. Before you take the break, write down a strategy for how to start and get back into that thing. Because if you're not going to do that, you're probably going to take a longer break and you're going to beat yourself up for taking 6 months off or a year. And you're going to have such a hard time getting back into it. So understand that you have to really make a plan. How long is the break going to be? And what's the purpose of the break? What do you want to feel? When does it break? What feeling do you need in order to break the break? To stop the break? And what's the strategy that you should implement to get back into it? What do you have to do? Do you have to just do shorter duration things until you feel like you are back into it? Because you cannot go back and expect that you're going to have the same results as you had before you quit. You're never going to have that. You can go on vacation, and when you're back in the gym, you're never going to be able to lift the same weights the first day at the gym. It's impossible. It's almost impossible without hurting yourself or without feeling a lot of pain. So understand that you have to have a plan for whenever you ease into it. Because if you go back to the habit that you formed and you don't understand that you still have to do 38 repetitions to build it back up again because you've lost that momentum. If you don't understand that you have to make your expectations for those sessions a little bit lower so that you can ease into it, so that you don't give a shock to your system, to your mind, to your emotions, you will be probably forced to quit even more. You will be having a worse time than if you didn't quit at all.